I think that something I realized, and something that we may not think about always, is just how immediately connected we are via social media now, and sometimes to things that we don't think about, like past trauma. But what I found over the past few weeks is that it's also been able to connect me to a incredibly new source of healing as well.
And I mean, when you say more connected, has it resulted in a huge response from other people who have suffered as you did?
Absolutely. I've been getting hundreds of messages daily from survivors of sexual violence, both men and women and gender non-conforming folk. And I think what I've really realized is that there's a strength in visibility. It's something that is so stigmatized and so rarely talked about that just even coming forward and speaking about it in a public forum at all has been eliciting an extreme response.
It obviously was quite a traumatic thing, even doing that, talking publicly about exactly what had happened to you.
Absolutely. Spoken word poetry is something that I found when I moved to Colorado and found an absolutely incredible community here, and found that this art form has been something that's given me the platform to be able to speak about it. And since it's reached such a large audience now, it's actually enabled me to talk about it more comfortably on a personal level, where a lot of outside factors before were kind of telling me that I shouldn't, or that things were in place invalidating my experiences and my story in a way that didn't make me feel comfortable to. But with the response that I've gotten now, I feel that I know that there is strength in my visibility and in my story, and it's something that I am passionate about sharing with people as a means to hopefully help other people heal and come forward as well.
You see, the woman here, the young woman here who did what you've done,
Yes.
she said that it purged that sense almost that you had guilt in what had happened. Was that it for you?
I think that if there was a sense of that, and at some point, absolutely, it's because of the way that we are conditioned to think of sexual violence and how we think of survivors of sexual violence. Because I mean, the thing that I was told over and over again, specifically by law enforcement, after my attack, was that if I couldn't help them, they weren't going to help me. And I think that there's a lot of question around, well, you know, survivors having this responsibility to report, but really I think that we have to be cognizant of the fact that survivors have no responsibility to anyone outside of themselves, that our own mental health and survival after such trauma is the absolute first priority. So I think that we do shame and guilt people into their own silences, and that's something that did happen with me in my case.
And very briefly, do you think that what happened to you, these violent attacks, are much more prevalent than we understand?
Oh, absolutely, and without a doubt. I know that because of the outpour and outreach of responses that I've gotten. And I think that I hope, certainly, that when more survivors come forward and talk about it candidly and unashamedly, and really promote their own survival, that hopefully we will be able to talk about it in a more open forum and not feel the stigma surrounding the issue.
Kevin Kantor, in Colorado, thank you very much indeed for talking with us.